These are my favorite 2026 marketing trends. And unlike a lot of other marketing trend reports out there, I'm not basing these based on gut or vibes or just like observations. I'm going to tie all of these back to client data. Across my clients, I'm looking at over 3.2 million subscribers across all their YouTube channels. I'm looking at membership businesses doing over $1 million a month. So these are some of the top creators in the industry that I am taking my observations from and data from working with their brands. And I formalized all of my observations with you in this trend report. So here's the problem, and I kind of alluded to this already, with most people are basing them based on their gut. So I thought it could be a really interesting spin this year if I looked for the data to back up the claims that I'm making. So I'm going to walk you through 9 marketing trends that I'm loving right now and tie them each to client data. Let's get into it. So the first one, which is kind of funny because you're watching this on YouTube, is that I really believe that the YouTube wave, so to speak, is about to break. I think that if you are going to be a YouTube creator, we are at a similar time in YouTube as we were with TikTok or Instagram back around 2020, where the creators who got started then just experienced exponential growth and really were able to grow rapidly fast. And it's not to say that you can't grow on Instagram or TikTok starting today if you just started from scratch in 2026. But I think it's a little bit harder than if you would have gotten started when all of the hype was there. And I think YouTube's in a similar position. The reason why I'm saying that is because more and more creators that I'm working with have YouTube as their primary platform. Across my clients, they have over 3.2 million total subscribers when you add up all the channels, which is kind of crazy to think about. And those same clients are all doing multiple 6 or multiple 7 figures a year in revenue because they have this audience. YouTube audiences behave a little bit differently than Instagram or TikTok audiences because they are very leaned into you, the creator. They trust you. You're putting in the literal hours building a relationship with them through long form content. I think YouTube is going to be a place where more and more creators are spending their time and more people are looking to YouTube for the creators that they want to engage with. My second trend report kind of ties in with that a little bit, which is I think that every creator is going to have a newsletter. There was this period of time where newsletters were dead and the idea was like nobody wants to just hear your life story every week. But as long form content is starting to grow and more people are wanting to consume true long form content versus just binge scroll through short form, I think that newsletters are going to have a really unique place for people who don't prefer video content, but actually prefer getting to read. Newsletters are a place where you can build trust with your audience every single week. If you format them correctly, you can actually build repetition with your audience where they kind of know what to expect and can open up your newsletter and pick the sections that they want to engage with the most. And yeah, I think newsletters are going to be a really big thing for creators. One of my favorite things creators are doing right now is having their long form content like a YouTube or a podcast or a YouTube podcast, taking that long form content and using that to inform a long form newsletter. And then out of those pieces of long form that are kind of riffing off of each other, covering the same topics, they're able to then splice that into a lot of shorter form pieces of content to use on short form channels. So I think that's going to be the model. I'm seeing that across the clients that I write for. I currently ghostwrite for 6 different newsletters right now, and all of them have really healthy open and click-through rates. All of them are tied to revenue in some way because we're able to get people from the newsletter into the funnel. And it's just a really great place to build trust with your audience over time. My third trend is that people are going to stop editing out typos. This is something that I do with several of my clients. If they leave typos in when they're editing my copy, especially into their actual content, I am very willing to leave the typos in because it feels more human. As AI is starting to grow, content is so polished, right? Because AI doesn't make typos. So if you're reading copy from AI, it's going to be very polished, very perfect, very grammatically accurate, and breaking some grammar rules, breaking some spelling, putting things in lowercase that should be capitalized and vice versa. These little things cue to your brain that the thing that you're reading is worth paying attention to and isn't just another piece of AI content. I really believe that the way that our brains read and process AI content is optimized for just skimming. It's very easy to skim through content, look for the high points, and move on. But when when your content actually is written in different sentence structures and you're playing with typos and you're playing with different grammar tools that might not be properly used by like the English textbook version, it forces your reader to slow down and hang on every word, and they are actually going to consume your content versus just skim, look for what they want, and then leave. My one caveat for this is I would not put typos in your sales copy, but I would put typos in your content. And the reason why is we actually do want to optimize for skimming and quick decision-making when it comes to sales. So if someone is reading your sales page, they should be able to hit the high points, understand what your offer is really quickly, yes or no is it for me, and move on. That should be very polished copy. We don't want their brain to slow down and have to hang on every word. But if someone is reading your newsletter or reading a longer form piece of content that we want them to like slow down and sit with and digest and like really experience you as a creator, having some typos, having some things that are grammatically inaccurate is actually an advantage because it tells them that you're not just reading AI, you're reading from a true creator. It's very similar to if your friend is texting you, you actually read the text because you know it's from your friend. And we want your content to feel that way too. This one is an interesting one, and I think is going to make some people angry who really love courses or only sell courses, but I don't think courses are going to sell for over $1,000 anymore. I have one client who is still selling a course that sells for like over $2,000, but every other client has moved to a model where if it is truly a course, like it is something that you do not have a community with, do not have coaching with, it is just an info product, all of those are selling for less than $1,000. I would say they max out around the like $799, $899 mark. The reason being, I actually think that we probably have like 6 to 8 months left of shelf life on true course-only products. As AI is growing, it is so easy to get your questions answered and to understand content from consuming it through AI or watching YouTube videos. So to ask somebody to pay thousands of dollars for a piece of content that theoretically they could figure out just by watching YouTube or asking ChatGPT is going to get really hard. So if you are selling just an info product, people will pay for the curation of that content for you to say, hey, instead of watching all of my YouTube videos, this is like the need to know for this specific topic. People will still pay for the curation of that, but I don't think they are going to continue paying high ticket for that. Which brings me to my next point. I think two things are going to happen. I think low ticket communities and high ticket communities are going to be where people go instead. So if one trend is that courses aren't going to sell for over $1,000. The next one is low ticket communities are going to do really, really well. And then the next one is that high ticket communities are going to become what replaces these high ticket courses. So a couple pieces of data to back this up. First of all, for courses not selling over $1,000, again, I only have one client who is selling a course that's multiple thousands of dollars. Every other client who has just course only is selling below the $1,000 mark, and those funnels are converting between 2 to 3% for the most part. For the lower ticket memberships, a lot of the memberships that I'm working in right now are falling in this range where they're either under $1,000 for the year or like $97 a month. One of my clients has a membership that's running that way, and she's making about $50K a month in monthly recurring revenue because of this $97 a month monthly membership. It's a really normal place where monthly memberships used to fall at like the $50 mark. I think that those have gone up a little bit because customers are expecting more coaching and more hands-on support within the membership. So if you're offering that, it's okay to charge a little bit more. And then my next point is that these masterminds and communities that are a lot more high ticket, I think are going to fall into this like 5K to 10K a year if they're getting one-to-one coaching, mastermind experiences, like a lot more high level. So those are kind of the three price points I think we're going to be playing with this year. Under $1,000 for courses, around like the $100 a month or $1,000 for the year for memberships, and then closer to the like 5K to 10K a year for masterminds, communities, things that are more high touch. Trend number 7 is that video lead magnets are going to be the new lead magnet to create. And the reason why I say that is because if AI can replace these long form PDFs that anybody can just read a ton of information in, what can't be replicated quite yet is video. And so if you think about a creator who is going to give you a free download that sure might have a PDF element element of it, but they're going to record a video and walk you step by step through how to use that template or guide or implement that into your business. It's way more valuable. And here is what I love about this from a marketing funnel perspective. If you're able to get people to come into your lead magnet and on the thank you page, deliver that lead magnet video, what you can do is make that thank you page a sales page. So you're holding this person's attention on the sales page in a way where they are watching your video lead magnet, they are learning from you, they're getting free value, but the place where that video is embedded is on a page that's telling them, hey, because you opted in for this free thing, you have 1 hour, 2 hours, 2 days, whatever time frame you decide to set to claim this bonus discount incentive to buy this thing. So you're able to take them from a free thing onto a thank you page that has a video on it. In that video that's on it, you deliver value. And while they're watching the video, they are on a sales page, getting this experience, inviting them into your offer. And that's working exceptionally well. It's probably, you will hear me say a million times, funnels are not one size fits all, but that is the one funnel that I am recommending to most people right now who are selling some sort of low ticket offer, low ticket membership experience. And it's working really, really well, to the tune of probably 3 to 5 to 7% conversions, depending on the price point of the offer, which is really great. On that note, the other interesting thing to do within a funnel like that is to take someone from a free thing into a webinar. This is very tried and true. You've probably seen this before, where someone will opt in for a lead magnet and see the webinar on the thank you page as an invitation to join a free training. On that thank you page, after opting in for the webinar, what you want to do is embed the webinar on a sales page too. So that model works whether you're going free lead magnet into a video delivery of the lead magnet or webinar opt-in into a video delivery of the webinar embedded on a sales page. I'm doing this with several clients right now, and it's my favorite funnel that is working really well in 2026. Which brings me to my next trend, which is that I do think webinars are going to make a comeback. Specifically, as much as I am the biggest fan of evergreen funnels and evergreen webinars, I will love them forever. I do think live webinars are going to make a bit of a comeback because people are really craving community. They want to learn in a group of people. Anyone can sit alone at home and just watch a YouTube video, but live webinars give this interactive element. There's a Q&A happening. There's a chat going, similar to how Twitch is showing up for creators. I think webinars are a really great sales tool within funnels. I think we're going to see more live webinars in 2026. If you are using a live webinar in your funnel, this brings me to sales teams are going to make a comeback. The two businesses that I am working with right now who are doing over $1 million a month, both are using the same model, which is live webinar into an invitation to book a sales call. And those sales calls are crushing. Within my own business, sales calls have been a dramatic revenue driver. I brought on somebody to do my sales back in the fall. And since then, every month have seen my revenue increase between 4K to 15K over the month, which is just wild. And it gets me, the founder, out of sales calls. I feel very adamant that if you are a founder, especially if you're a creator founder and people want to pick your brain and get to talk to you, you get to protect your time and not make yourself take sales calls. And having that barrier between you and your knowledge and somebody on a sales call who might want to just pick your brain, ask for information, and get ideas is really healthy for protecting your IP and your creator business. So sales teams work really well for this because you're able to put some distance between the sales experience and then the delivery experience as a creator. And these marketing funnels that are going free webinar into book a free sales call into the offer are driving 7 figures a month for these creators, which is really exciting. So those are my 9 favorite marketing trends, all backed by client data and what I'm seeing work in the creator space right now. I'm really curious if you have data or anything that is working in your business. I would love if you would drop it below. I actually really enjoy getting to kind of nerd out on these things and see what different people are experiencing in their business. So feel free to let me know if you disagree with any of these, are seeing different data in your own business, or just have something you would add. I'd love to see it. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.